if we look at these conversations as we're just serving them, we're just helping them, then that kind of lowers the pressure and we don't come across salesy and it just makes everything easier.
One of your lower points, you just start telling people, hey, this is what I'm doing. They're like, I wish I could do that, or I always wanted to do that. Some people watching this like, I don't have a rich uncle, I don't have a rich aunt, grandparents. Um, Maybe they don't know the people that are in their network or people that they know may have money to invest. So, question number one is, how did you find those people initially when you first started out that to borrow money from them, right?
Yeah.
Question number two is, did with you not having a lot of experience in that, was that a concern of theirs? Because a lot of people have that imposter syndrome, right?
Right.
And then number three, and I'm loading you all up so that way you can
You
just
are loading
walk
me up,
away.
man.
Uh, Number three would be, how did you structure your deal? Because the reason why I asked you that question is because I know earlier on in my career, having documentation was not always the priority for me, and it cost me some, a couple dollars out of my pocket. And so I'd love for you to share that with people that are watching this.
Yeah, definitely. So, kind of a blessing for me to raise money in real estate was that I had to raise money for the ministry that I worked in Kenya. And being a high school English teacher, they don't train you on how to raise millions of dollars, right? That's just not in the curriculum. And so I had a lot of hard lessons in raising money for ministry, and I had to raise all of the money for that work. And
Sure.
so I got comfortable and familiar with how to have those conversations and how to talk about money, right? Which is, I know a lot of circles, we don't naturally just talk about money, right? And in real estate investing, we tend to throw around numbers and we talk about money freely, but our best private lenders are not in real estate. And so we really need to know how to have those conversations with others. So when I got started, well, I should say another thing that really struck me from that process, raising money for ministry, was when I met with someone, I had no idea how much they would donate.
Right.
Right. So you end up thinking, well, I got this person, they got the Cadillac SUV, they must be loaded and they're definitely going to donate a lot. And then you've got somebody in the beat up pickup truck, and why am I wasting my time? And it
But
works
you're the
out,
one that has the most money.
yeah, yeah. You get, the Cadillac driver has no money, the beat up pickup donates a lot and is passionate about the ministry, and there was no way to predict, right?
Sure.
And what we see from the outside is really no indication of their perspective on money and what's in their account and what they're
Sure.
interested in. So when I started just talking to everybody. I didn't have a rich uncle that I could just go to and say,
Right.
"Hey, set me up," right? That would have been nice, but um, I started talking to everybody and casting a vision for myself. And early on, I didn't know I should raise money automatically, right? That was foreign to me. I knew it
Sure.
from ministry. But over and over, people would want to say, "Oh, that's neat." I always want to know how that works. How are you going to do that? And it was over time I figured out that they could lend me money. And um, it wasn't large sums of money at first. It was 30,000 here, and it was smaller sums, and they would test the waters and see what I could do.
Sure.
And I just I'm of the approach that I just share it with everybody, right? And the people who are interested in learning more, they'll ask. So even now, what I say and what I recommend my students say is something similar to this, where I try to have in my introduction, anytime I'm in a group of people or I meet somebody new, I want to kind of tell them why I do, what I do, and how they can play a part. super quick, right? So I love fixing up houses, improving communities. We buy beat up properties, make them nice again, run them to great families, and I share the profits with friends, family, people I know instead of the bank.
Right.
Real quick, right? And I share that with as many people as possible. And maybe you have 1 out of 10, maybe it's 1 out of 20 that says, really, how does that work? Right? How could I share in the profits? Who doesn't want to share in the profits on a real estate deal, right? And just letting them know there's an opportunity there for them to play a part and then have that conversation. So I would recommend nobody ever pre-screen, right? Don't say, "Oh, this person's going to be a deep pockets. They probably are going to be a great lender, and this person's not."
Right.
Just share your business, what you do with everybody. Look at it as I'm serving them, right? I'm not asking for anything from them. I'm helping them. So there are people everywhere frustrated with the stock market, looking to get money out of the stock market and still get a decent return on their money while it's secured by real estate. That's an amazing opportunity. And if we look at these conversations as we're just serving them, we're just helping them, then that kind of lowers the pressure and we don't come across salesy and it just makes everything easier.